Cole Custer down there in 32nd and Austin Hill in 25th. They got together late in the race, and after they got together, Austin Hill showed his displeasure by spinning Cole Custer out. Now, here's what my editor-in-chief over at NASCAR.info had to say on his post-race live stream yesterday regarding that incident and what he thinks should happen in regards to Austin Hill.
I am firmly in the category here that, yeah, he should be suspended. Not just because of this one incident with Cole Custer, but within the context of these other incidents that he's had over the years. That deal with Cole Custer was stupid. He could have really hurt Cole Custer in that accident. When a car wrecks, it is already wrecked, when it's already lost the rear clip, wrecking it again is potentially dangerous. I think it's actually worse than the Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday thing, because at least Hornaday's truck was perfectly intact when Kyle Busch forced him into the outside wall there at a very fast track. Custer's car was already wrecked. And how often do we hear in these accidents that the second hit is the one that really hurts the driver? This very easily could have been another situation there.
All right, well, Brandon, I'll pass the question on to you now. Should Austin Hill be suspended for the incident and the retaliation with Cole Custer?
You and Brock have a way of being very persuasive on me on different topics like this, because I can go into reading a question and go, I don't know, and then I see an explanation like that and go, he does have a point. He brings up Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday, and my mind wasn't going there, but here we are. It was already yellow flag, and after a wreck, but Hornaday's truck was still pretty intact when Busch came and gave his displeasure. But this one, Custer was already, like you mentioned, already had the rear clip ripped off going out of 2. And then here comes Austin Hill giving him the chrome horn on the back and let him know that he was number 1 and gave him the turn. And he went back into that inside safer barrier, which is kind of curved out where we have the Charlotte Roval now. It's not exactly just straight all the way. It's got that little indention where when they come out of the little, what used to be the bus stop, a little more extended now. But yeah, I mean, I've never been in a hit like that, but I've heard the same thing that, the second hit can be indeed worse for the driver than the first. And yeah, looking back at Austin Hill's other things, this isn't a new thing for him to do this sort of thing. Maybe they should take a look at it. I mean, aren't penalties assessed usually on Tuesday, or I think that's our day when we get our money. So we'll see tomorrow what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't say it would be a terrible idea to consider that, and we have to believe that they are.
Well, I think just in being consistent with, I think the precedent that was set with Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson in Vegas. Because I think, again, up until that point, kind of been a gray area. I think that really was the moment where we said, okay, absolutely justified, absolutely fair. But when this happens again, and it did happen with Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin last year, and to NASCAR's credit, they made it a precedent that they acted on. They didn't care if it was the most popular driver in the sport. They still sat him down for one race as well. So, again, and I think that the comparison that Brock brings up is a very apt one here. I don't know that, again, I feel like when you put it like that, it maybe kind of lessens the severity of what Busch did to Hornaday, and it really was a head-on impact into the outside wall here. So I don't want to.
It's still pretty bad. Let's not dampen it. Yeah.
Let's not make it sound like Kyle Busch didn't deserve a suspension for that one. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, he's lucky he wasn't suspended for the rest of the year. Like I think Kyle Petty and Phil Parsons were both arguing in immediate aftermath of that, but. Yeah, I mean, again, he brings up a good point as well with the fact that when you have the first incident, the first hit, the car is already compromised in terms of the safety features that are made to withstand hits like that. If you have a second hit after that, and sometimes, the nature of the accidents, it's inevitable, so you hope you still have some protection there, but it leads to a very high increase, I think, in an undesired outcome happening when you have that second hit. So, I think that again is only further reasoning in terms of an argument that, absolutely, you should certainly look at this and look at the precedents that's been set. Look at Austin Hill's past history, because this isn't the first time that he's been involved in an on or off track sort of deal. You remember the punch that he threw on pit road at Martinsville. I think that kind of got lost in the whole Ty Gibbs, Brandon Jones deal in 2022. And then, obviously what happened with Sheldon Creed at the end of the year last year at Martinsville. Once again, I don't think he's a first-time offender in terms of getting involved in controversy like this. And I think that's something that, again, doesn't give him much of a benefit of a doubt when it comes to making a decision like this.
Yeah, this incident does fall under the category of using your race car as a weapon, and it was completely after the incident occurred. And to be honest, it didn't feel like too much of uh, a negative outcome for Austin Hill. I mean, yeah, it was a cut tire, but I mean, he just completely escalated the situation in a way that it did not need to be done, and it was just a knee jerk reaction, just uh, working off his anger, and it just didn't help anything. And yeah, you should face the consequences for that sort of action.